This is page 69 of your math journal. We're going to call this one percent problems. Okay, in the last one, I told you to memorize the percent formula. So let's write that out again. We have whole times percent equals the part. And I gave you two clue words. Whole would be the word with the number with the of. Part would be the word with the is. And this needs to be in its decimal form. So, in the last problems, we only knew the whole and the percent. Well, today we're going to be dealing with trying to find any one of these three things. We'll know two of them, but we're trying to find the missing one. So, let's do a few examples. So, what percent of 15 is 12? That's our question. So let's look at what we know. We know of, so that tells us our whole is 12. 12 is the part of 15. We're looking for the percent, so we're just going to plug in what we know. Remember, whole times percent equals part. So we got 15 times the percent equals 12. So what I'm going to do is we plugged in what we know and we're looking for what we don't. I know that 15 times something gives me 12. This is why we're going to have to think backwards. 15 was multiplied by a number to get us 12. So how do I undo that? Well, I'm going to divide. So if I take and I divide this by 15, that's going to cancel out this. So I also have to divide this by 15. So here, 12 divided by 15. 15 will not go into 12. We knew that. So it's going to be a decimal. So 0 times 15 is 0. Still leaves me with 12. I'm going to annex a 0 and bring it down. 15 goes into 120 8 times. 8 times 15 is 120. That leaves me with 0. So notice I get the percent is equal to 0.8. Now that is not 0.8%. That is in the decimal form. So as a percent, that would be 80%. Okay, let's try another one. See, here we were finding the percent. Notice I put in what I knew, and then I worked backwards to figure out what I didn't know. Okay, another example. 20 is 30%. No, I'm not going to do 30%. I'm going to change that. 20 is 40%. Let's do that. Is 40% of what number? Okay, plug in what you know into the percent equation. So whole times percent equals the part. Okay, pick out what you know. 20 is 40% of, okay, of what number? That's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to take and plug in, I'm just going to leave W for whole because I don't know what that is yet. And I'm going to multiply that by the percent as a decimal, which would be 0.4. And it's going to give me 20. I put in my percent and I put in my part. And now I'm trying to figure out what this was. So the whole number was times by this to get this. So if I want to go backwards, I'm going to have to divide by this number. So I'm going to divide by 0.4. Okay, that cancels out what's happening here. So I'm going to divide by 0.4. This is important. 20 is what's being divided by 0.4. So I'm going to put 20 inside the box. I'm going to divide it by 0.4, but I'm going to move the decimal. But if I do it here, I have to do it here. Remember that. So 4 goes into 2. No, it doesn't. 4 goes into 20 5 times. Minus 20 leaves me with 0, but I still have a 0 place value here before my decimal. So 4 goes into 0 0 times. Minus 0, well, is 50. So what was the number that 20 is 40% of? 50. Now this is where you can check your work. 50 times 0.4 should give me 20, and it will. So my original number was 50. Okay, so plug in what you know, solve for what you don't. Here when they're together, then we just multiplied them. But because this is on the other side of the equals, I need to undo it. So I needed to go backwards. So I divided by 0.4 here. So let's do something. A desk is on sale. For $40. The original price was $90. Oh, we'll say $60. I changed my mind. What percent was the discount? So discount is what's taken off. So I want to know how much, what percent the discount was. So here, this is where I'm going to have to do a little bit more thinking than just looking at the numbers. The original price was 60, so I have my original price. Now was the discount 40? No, that's the new price. The discount was how much? From 60 to 40? That was 20. So it says what percent was the discount? The discount isn't given me here, but I can figure it out. The discount was $20. So whole times percent equals part. The part I'm looking for is the discount. Well, I know the discount. The discount is 20. I know that the whole price was 60. And I'm trying to figure out what percent was taken off. So I'm trying to figure out 20 compared to 60. So if I was multiplying by 60, well, I'm going to divide by 60 to undo that. Divide by 60. Well, there's my part, divide by my whole. That's going to end up giving me 20 divided by 60. 60 won't go into 20, so I'm going to have to annex a 0 here. 60 will go into 200 3 times. So minus 180 would give me 20. Annex another 0. 60 goes into 20 3 times. Minus 180 gives me 20. Oh, I'm noticing I'm repeating here again. So when I start repeating like that, I know this is going to keep going like this. So what percent was the discount? Remember, this is the decimal form of the number. I want to know the percent. So the percent equaled 0.333, repeating, right? So in its percent form, that would be 33.3%. That's how much we saved. That would be the discount. Let's try another one. A house increased in value by 12%. The original home price was $150,000. So, what is the new price of the house? Okay, you're going to have to read into this and think about it. A house increased in value by 12%. If this would be the original because this was the starting price. So that would be my whole. So $150,000. And I know it increased by 12%, so I first have to find out what 12% of that would be. So I'm going to write that as a decimal. So I'm going to look for the part or how much it increased. Well, notice here how these two numbers are already there and it tells me what to do. So all I need to do is multiply those together. So I'm going to do 150,000 times 0.12. 2 times 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 10, regroup 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 0 placeholder, 1 times 0, 0, 0, 0, 5, and 1. Add it up. I get 0. This looks really, really, really large, but you have to remember you have to move the decimal as well. So, looking at this, I have 1, 2 places behind the decimal, 1, 2 places behind the decimal. That would be $18,000. Now, read this problem again. It says a house increased in value by 12%. If a house is increasing, that means that the price went up. This was the original price, and I want to know what is the new price of the house. Okay, I found how much it increased. Does that mean that the house is $18,000 now? I don't think so. That's a steal of a deal. But since it increased by that much, I need to increase the original price by that much, which would be adding. So I'm going to be adding 150,000 plus the 18,000 that it increased and find the new housing price. That gives me $168,000. That would be the new price of the house. So sometimes it's not just as simple as finding a piece. You might have to read it carefully. In this case, I wanted the new price of the house. Well, because it increased in value by 12%, I had to find 12% of the original. And then we added that to the original price. But the biggest thing you need to worry about is putting things in the right spot and then doing what you need to figure it out. When you got something here, it was multiplied, so we had to undo, and that's why we divided. Here, they were already here, and I just needed to multiply it together to figure out the part. Okay, up here division, because division is the opposite of multiplying. We just had to work backwards.